everyone. A lot of people say that if you want to hide information from a black person, put it in written. But our guest today has proven that to be very incorrect. Instead, he has written a novel. It's a romantic adventure novel that's called The Bridge. And he's going to explain to us what this novel is all about. And this is Mr. Mwizenge Tembo. Good morning and welcome to Let's Chat.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure to host you.
Okay.
For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, my name is Elizabeth and you are watching Let's Chat. So today I'm in the middle of nowhere. This is after Chongwe and we're going to explain further where we are. But for now, Mr. Tembo is going to explain to us what this book is all about. Mr. Tembo, kindly explain to us what this novel is about.
Yes, the novel, as the writer, it really has two characters. I'm tempted to tell you all the exciting details, but I have to be careful because then I don't want to take away your curiosity to go and read the book or in fact even buy it. But the main theme of the book is a Zambian and his wife. Mm-hmm. They moved to Chicago, Illinois, rural Illinois in the USA. And they have marital problems. They have children. So they end up having some very difficult times with their marriage. So the man on the internet chat room falls in love with a white woman who is Irish. And that's where the adventure starts. Okay. So he ended up going to Ireland. Then after going to Ireland, they fly to Zambia as a romantic sort of love couple. They stay in Lusaka for a while. And then they travel all the way to the character. So I would name the two characters. The woman is Trish, the man is Kamtibi. So they travel all the way to Kamtibi's home village in Undazi. And that's where all these actions take place. And as a writer, probably also as a reader, that's what would fascinate you. Lots and lots of things happen as these characters move from the US to Ireland, and then they go to the Lundazi, in the rural Lundazi, they come back to Lusaka, and then they try to fly out of the country.
Okay, so what has been your experience as you've been writing this book? What has been your experience?
The experience, I can almost call it almost religious. As a writer writing a novel, I found myself riding a wave where I was writing. I went into my office in Osaka. I shouldn't say in Osaka, but in the United States. I wrote for about 14 days. I went into my office at 7 in the morning and finished at 8 p.m. just writing every day because I'm a prolific writer. Mm-hmm. And I finished writing the actual novel, the first draft, in 14 days. I was finished, about 200 pages.
You are that good.
Yes. No, I can't sort of try to be modest about this anymore. I'm a prolific writer. That's what I do. Okay,
so do you have any plans for this book?
Yes, the plans really are very interesting. In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to meet the Zambia Examinations Council. Maybe I should back up a little bit. The Curriculum Development Center of the Ministry of Education approved the bridge to be used for teaching literature in secondary schools in 2015. But then the Zambia Examinations Council still have to approve it, and that's why we're going to have a meeting the next 2 weeks. So those are the plans. And the book at the end, it ends in a very exciting finale in terms of what happens there. But then as a writer in the future, I want to write a sequel if that will be necessary, if people demand that I do that. But those are really the basic plans. Secondary schools, grade 10 to 12, they can use it for teaching. But the beauty of the book is that the ordinary individual, you don't have to be in school. Because I've used the book for teaching college students at Bridgewater College, because I'm a professor there. I've been a professor for 29 years. And people just love the book. Zambians have read it. They have just raving reviews about it. This is the book that is very, very interesting, but has been under the radar for the last 14 years. It was published in Zambia in 2005, and then it was published in New York by Lanas Publications in 2013. And now it's out there. And I think it's going to be something that is people can really enjoy reading, especially as, as Zambians especially. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of us who are not in school and may not have the privilege to have a hard copy, do we have soft copies online?
Yes, soft copies are available in Lusaka. You can, if you can contact us, we can have those available. But once it is approved by the Zambia Examinations Council, there are arrangements for pencil publishers. Mr. Penda Chanda is the CEO of that sort of a company. There's plans to have it published in large numbers, so it will be available in Zambia and all over, in the country. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting, Mr. Tembo. It's good to know that we do have good writers coming from Zambia and going to the States, and actually them acknowledging that the book is important and them using it for more than 14 years. That's very interesting. I do hope that our government would take that into consideration, that we may use our very own writers in schools.
Yes, in fact, one of the things which I find very fascinating about the book, about its potential, is that when I went to school a long time ago, I'm almost like a dinosaur. I was in Form 5 in 1971, Form 4 in 1970 at Chizongwe Secondary School. We were using Cry, the Beloved Country, Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. And it's all right to have writers that are non-Zambians. But when you get a book like this one, where you can have a Zambian who wrote it, when you read it, you'll find that most of the scenes that are described there in Osaka and in the villages, they are scenes Zambians will be very familiar with. And that's something which I find very inspiring. So if you're a Zambian, you're reading this, you should be able to recognize yourself.
True.
So whether you're Tonga, Bemba, Lozi, you can say, oh, they went to the village, this is how it is. And then in Osaka, I describe certain scenes. Because I use the book and the story and the narrative as an excuse to really delve into Zambian culture. That's what I really, the aim of the book.
And is that what's interesting about the book to a Zambian reader?
Yes, because you recognize everything. Now, my students in the US, they read and enjoy it, but many of the things they are learning for the first time. But for a Zambian, even if you grew up in the city, you should be able to say, I recognize this because it happens in Lusaka and all the cities in Zambia are almost alike. And then when they go to the village, many of the village customs and families and obligations between members of the families are very similar in many African quote-unquote tribes or ethnic groups. And that's what is really important. So the book really is very, very interesting in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you that like adventure novels, please get in touch with us on our Facebook page. Let's Chat with Elizabeth, and I'll be able to direct you where and how you can have a copy of your own. Mr. Tembo, your last words?
My last words are that really I would like to implore, sort of plead to all Zambians to really get involved in reading. Reading, I find myself, I'm very passionate about this, is one of the most important things because you can learn a lot, you can entertain yourself, you can learn about other countries or your own culture through books. And you should also have writers out there that describe what we're going through now or even in the rest of the past about Zambian history. So reading and writing go hand in hand. If you're a good reader, you also are likely to be a good writer because you pick up a lot of vocabulary and so on. I myself, I have been a voracious reader since I was as young as I was 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I went through Zambia in the 1960s and 70s. I've always been just a good reader. And I just don't, there is a myth there that if you are Zambian or you are African or you're a woman, you should just read books that are written by maybe women or written by Africans or blacks or Europeans. No, to me, I don't believe in that. Reading, you should just read everything that interests you. So I have a collection of Charles Dickens, who is a British author from the 1800s. I've read Chinua Achebe, I've read Nigerian authors, I've read European authors and different types of issues that interest me. And that's what everybody should be striving for. And I hope this book will help in, especially if it's adopted in schools. I can imagine in a few years you can have budding Zambian writers, because once the book inspires you, read it, you can say to yourself, oh, I can do this too, maybe describe my life or create a story that's going to be this thrilling and things like that. Okay. Yeah, so I would urge all the viewers there to really, get on board and be either a reader or a writer or both.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Thank you so much. So this is a copy of the novel that we're talking about, which is called The Bridge, and the person that I'm just interviewing right now is the author of this romantic adventure book. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you need an audio, you can also download our audios on Anchor and many other podcasts. Just type Let's Chat with Elizabeth and our name will pop out, and you'll be able to get all this information via audio or via video. Thank you so much for watching.
One with all living.